Hello, everyone, and welcome to Immigration Alive with Lee. I am your host, Attorney Lee Marvin, and I'm joining you from my studio in Grand Rapids, Michigan. But don't worry, I can help you anywhere you are. All you have to do is reach out to me. And I know a lot of people reach out to me regularly on this live broadcast, as well as any other way they can. So, again, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube are the main ways people get in touch with me. And I would ask you, if you're joining us tonight, to please, one, let me know where you're joining us from. And two, make sure you put your comments and questions in the comments section. Hello? Yeah. Mr. Caddy from Nashville, thank you for joining us. Appreciate it very much from my YouTube channel. So thank you kindly. And again, if anyone has questions, the comment section is where you post those questions, okay? I'm here for you, so please feel free to ask your questions. Flint, Michigan, Shebra from Flint, Michigan. You know, Shebra, I used to work in Flint. I used to live in Grand Blanc there. So thank you for joining us from Flint, okay? Appreciate it very much. Oh, I figured, Mr. Grinch, that was you changing your name again. So our good friend from Nashville, Mr. Grinch is joining us again. So thank you kindly for that from Nashville, Tennessee. So thank you. And again, I put Shebra up here because I used to go around Flint quite a bit back in the day. So thank you for joining us. Okay. If anyone has questions, please post your questions in the comments section. You don't have to wait to be called on. You can just go ahead and post your questions and I will get to them as I can. There's always tons of questions, especially toward the end of the program. So please get your questions in early if you can. We got a friend joining us from New Jersey. Thank you for joining us in New Jersey. And where else? So if you're just joining us, welcome. Please type in the chat where you're joining us from. And that's also where you're going to put your questions, your immigration-related questions. There's a lot of the dust is starting to settle with the new administration, depending on your history and what you've got going on in your situation. Things are either really boring or really hot and, nerve-wracking. New York City, thank you for joining us from New York City. So things are not, well, at least in this part of the country, things are not as crazy as they were when Trump first started. I know there's a lot of the deportation stuff going on, but a lot of the immigration processes are starting to move forward and get caught up. A lot of the processing times I've noticed are starting to get better. I don't know if that's a Trump thing or if that's a post-Biden thing. We don't really care why it is. We just care that things are getting better. So type your questions in the chat. If you're joining us from Instagram, Facebook, or YouTube, please type your questions. I've got questions from earlier from my YouTube channel, so I'll get to those in a bit. But let's see here. We got Nino. Just received your 2-year conditional green card through merit. Congratulations. That's a heck of an accomplishment. So you got 2 years before you have to file to remove those conditions. But that's really easy for people who have a relationship that's strong and you're doing a lot of things to show that you're in a valid, bona fide relationship. So congratulations with that, Nino. That's great to hear. Okay, so we've got Lourdes from New Jersey. Thank you for joining us from New Jersey. Appreciate it very much. If you got a question, please type it into the chat. Let's see here. I'm going to go over to Rafa. I became a citizen 15 years ago, but I had a DUI and a misdemeanor 20 years ago. Is that going to affect me with a new administration? Is what I assume you're saying, immigration law, if I want to travel out of the country and come back. You're in Wisconsin. Love it. Wisconsin's a great state. So Rafa, if you're a citizen, it don't matter. It absolutely matters not whether you started as an immigrant, how you became a naturalized citizen. Doesn't matter what you're naturalized. You might be looking at one of my videos that I did not too long ago, which was my denaturalization. I don't know if that's what you're talking about. That is what you're typing here is not a problem. You don't have to worry about, you could do virtually anything and you're not going to be at risk of losing anything with immigration. The only time you lose anything with denaturalization is if you obtain your naturalization through fraud. Okay, that is the thing that can come back and bite you. Barring that, I mean, any crime, misdemeanor, DUI is not a big deal anyway. I mean, it's not good, right? But it's not anything that you have to worry about. Okay, so Rafa, fear not. You're not at risk of anything. Okay. We've got here. This is Ramiro, is a DACA recipient, and it's expiring this Friday with ineligibility due to drunk driving. You work for a corporation, an employer. On their advice, can I get a TN H-1B CPT Day 1 Master's Program? Okay, so here's the thing with that, Ramiro. You can do these things, but when you apply for these sorts of student-based, work-based processes, it's going to require you to go to your embassy in your home country. I don't know where you're from, but you would have to go to your home country. When you do that, you're at risk of having that 10-year bar slapped on your history, right? So you're not going to be able to go and come back without problems. You're probably going to have to do a waiver, okay? I'm going to put my link here because this is the sort of thing that I like to help people resolve. I've done it many times, but I will tell you that you really need to reach out directly to me so I can help you figure this out, because if you don't do it just the right way, then you're going to be at risk of being expelled from the United States for 10 years or more, okay? So shout out to me and I'll help you with that, okay? Okay, let me go over to Instagram before I come back over to YouTube. See who I missed. Buenas noches from Avalanegra. Okay. Buenas noches a usted también. Okay. See here. Okay. Nikki Floor Life. My friend has a conditional green card and she wants to travel outside the country. Is it safe for her to go? Conditional green cards? Yes. If you have a conditional green card, you can fully use that green card as though you have a full 10-year green card. The only difference is that if you have a conditional green card, you have to remove those conditions to get your full 10-year green card. But you can use it exactly the same as a normal green card holder, okay? If your friend has questions, I have the link that I'm posting, so you can reach out to me so I can help your friend, okay? Let's see, what do we have here? So let me go back over to my YouTube channel, and I'm going to go over to my friend from Flint. One second, my eye itches. My friend from Flint is Shebra. Okay, Shebra says, someone had their inspection, they're detained and got out on parole. Do they need a notice to appear letter before filing for asylum? Does the filing prevent deportation? Okay, so inspection, detained, and got out on parole. So Shebra, this is the chaotic process that started back under Biden that was completely, it's a mess, okay? Because immigration right now, the immigration courts and uscis, they don't know how to handle all the stuff that happened at the border. Basically, the CBP1 app, all the stuff that happened under the Biden administration with the border crisis. The government still hasn't said how they're going to handle these processes, okay? So you're asking for a notice to appear as needed, that's for immigration deportation court, okay? And that if this is the path for your friend, then they will have to go to court before they can file for asylum, okay? Again, it's tough to completely answer that question accurately because there's times where you can file affirmatively instead of defensively, okay? The immigration court is the defensive way to file asylum. If you're outside of the court, you can file affirmatively. I help many, many people do that. So Shebra, your friend might need to reach out to me and do a conversation. And since I'm assuming they're in Flint too, I could help figure this out. Use that link to book that time to talk to me directly, okay? And I would love to help your friend. Okay. Let's see here. Okay. I'm going to go down to Lores, who's joining us from the East Coast. My son's pending interview till now in the U.S. Embassy's Manila. He was 19 years old when the USCIS approved it in 2020. I petitioned him as I'm assuming green card holder is what you're saying. Okay. So you had a green card when you petitioned his I-130, and Lourdes, it was approved in 2020. Yeah. Okay. You corrected that, the green card part. Okay. Gotcha. So you petitioned for him as a green card holder, and it was approved. The I-130 was approved in November of 2020. I'm going to quick go on here, Lourdes, and let you know processing times. I just did a video. You're on my YouTube channel. If you haven't checked out that video, you should, because I did the videos. I think I just released it Friday, Thursday, Friday. Maybe it came out today. I don't remember, but let's see here. Let me go here to see where they are with the processing the visa bulletin. So your son in the Philippines has a better idea. Okay. So the visa bulletin came out for March in the Philippines. Your son, so you're a green card holder at the time. So it was the F2A category. They're processing requests that were submitted in January of 22. So if your I-130 was approved in 2020, then you should have received a notice to move forward with your son's process. If you haven't gotten that yet, you can reach out to immigration and ask them where it is. But you are very close to being able to move forward for him. Okay. Of course, it depends on how old he is too. Okay, that's always a consideration. Okay. Question on my Instagram channel. What is the difference in a green card holder and a green card, conditional green card? Okay. So Lizzie Butterfly. So the difference between a conditional green card and just a regular green card is that the conditional green card means that you are only temporarily approved for a green card. You don't have a full 10-year green card. The normal green card is 10 years. Conditional is for 2 years. The government says, okay, 2 years, you got to come back in another 2 years, and you have to convince us that your relationship with your sponsor is bona fide. So if it's a marriage-based process, you get a conditional green card. You need to prove to the government that you're still together and that you're still in a bona fide relationship. Once you prove that to them, they will remove the condition and give a full 10-year green card. That's the difference, okay? I've helped people for years for that. So if you need help, click on the link that I posted above, and I would love to help you, okay? Let's see here. Let me switch over to Instagram. Well, actually, let me go to YouTube here real quick. Let's see. Who do we have from YouTube? Yeah, Rafa, my pleasure. I'm just seeing your gratitude here. I appreciate it. Thank you. I got to post this because Somebody says, "My man Marvin, you are awesome." I'm going to post it every time. So it's my pleasure, and I know you join us weekly, so it's my pleasure, and thank you for joining us again. Okay, and to answer your question, very cold here. I forget where you're joining us from, but man, oh man, is it ridiculously cold. The last couple of years, we haven't had much time to ski here in Michigan because the winter season was very short. Well, it's back with a vengeance. It's super, super cold, and there's no lack of cold weather and snow for us anytime soon. So that's how I'm doing. I love it, but it's really darn cold. Okay, let's see here. Oh, good, Lourdes, you watched it. Okay, good. So hopefully, what I just told you will help too. Okay. Um, Appreciate it. The kudos. Thank you very much. Um, okay. Oh, Benton Harbor. Okay. So you want me to come to Benton Harbor sometime? I will see what I can do. I appreciate it very much. This is a close second. I'm in the same freezing state as you, and I'm doing this remotely. So it's my pleasure. You can join us anytime on the live. So thank you for that. Okay, so let me go down. What do we have here? Yeah, Ramiro is you're gonna give me a call. Good, so I can help out. I would love to help with that. Okay. Okay. Ismail, my I-130 just got approved for my wife. Congratulations. It sometimes takes forever. I'm glad you got that. What's the next step? So the big question I have for you is where in the world is your wife located? Is it overseas or is it in the US? Getting an I-130 approved isn't everything, right? And that's what you're asking. It depends where you filed and what your status is. Are you a citizen or permanent resident? So, Ismail, you may need to reach out to me. I posted a link above how you can reach out directly with me so I can find out the answers to your questions and help you with this process. Okay. But typically speaking, it either goes to through the National Visa Center and the embassy, or if you're in the United States, it goes to your regional office, the field office who has your case, and it gets processed through there. Okay, it depends on a number of different things. Okay, all right. Let's see here. Um, okay. Okay. Ismail, Indonesia. Salamat malam, Ismail. Salamat malam. Okay, and you are a U.S. citizen. Okay, so she's in Indonesia. Then that means you're a U.S. citizen. So there's no waiting period. So once that I-130 is approved as a U.S. citizen, it's gonna now go through the National Visa Center so that they can get everything ready for that interview in the embassy in Indonesia. It's not Yogyakarta. I think it's Jakarta, isn't it? Well, whatever. It's going to be there, and the National Visa Center is going to process things so it can go to the embassy in Indonesia. It's not Bali, I know that. I think it's Jakarta. That's the capital after all. So, but that's where it will be. Okay. So, congrats with that, Ismail. And again, salamat malam. Okay. All right, so I'm going to go back over to Instagram, see what sort of cool stuff we have over here. Let's see here. Any good questions? Yeah, Lizzie Butterfly, it's my pleasure for answering your question. That's great. Okay, question about military members. For members of the military, are there benefits to petition someone to complete the petition for a parent outside the country? Let me try to piece together those. Is there benefits to petition someone to complete the petition for a parent outside the country? So, typically speaking, Andre, Andre. So the thing is, with a military parole in place, that's the big thing that people do if they're a part of the military. And that's only for parents or a spouse who are inside the United States. It doesn't help anyone outside the United States, okay? So being in the military doesn't help with that unless it's a spouse, I guess. Then I believe there's streamlined processes if you're in the military for that. But really it's meant for people living inside the United States so they don't have to leave to do their interview outside, okay? Let's see here. Okay, I'm looking at a question on Instagram, so I can't post it because the technology doesn't let me on Instagram. I tried applying for citizenship back in 2020. I was 25 years old back then. They told me I get a penalty of 7 years for not applying for the Army Reserve. No, that's not true, which I had no clue about when I entered. So you might be confusing things, and this is the non-biblical Moses. Okay, so Moses. The thing is, for Army Reserves, that's not what they're saying. If you don't sign up for selective service, then they may not approve your request to move forward. That's not the same thing as joining in the military. You're not obligated to join the military. You have to sign up for selective service, which is how the United States now handles, instead of the draft, we don't do the draft, we don't have obligatory military service, we have selective service, which means you have to register for that in case World War III happens and the United States needs able-bodied men. Then they know how to reach out to you in case you need to serve, okay? So it's slightly different than what you're being told here or what you interpret from the letter you got. You may need to book a time to talk to me so I can review this document that you got, because that is just not true, okay? So check me out and I can definitely help you figure that out, okay? Okay, you are more information. You're a green card holder. You absolutely 100% are required to register for selective service. Go to my YouTube channel, look up the video I did about that. It'll explain it to you, okay? Okay, so I'm going to go back over to YouTube before I move to the questions that I had earlier. 1 second here. Okay, this is Edna. I don't know if you asked a question above. I don't think you did. They don't have evidence where I was inspected or paroled. The attorney terminated the notice to appear. My status is still unknown. Okay. I have a feeling that this is a continuation to something that I missed above. Oh, here it is. Okay. Here we go. Can I file a 601 waiver with a letter of intent to deny the 485? With an approval of my I-130, my attorney terminated notice to appear because of an application to, okay. So, so that's the problem with the Biden administration. How the Biden administration handled the border crisis, that's the reason it was called a crisis, is because they had no idea how to handle the situation. Anyone and everyone came through, and now they're paying for it, right? They let anyone through, and people who weren't given the right thing to allow them to file certain things now don't have the ability to do it, okay? So it's a massive problem, and it's not getting better anytime soon. It's still an absolute catastrophe, okay? You can file a 601 waiver, but I don't know what is going on with your case. The attorney that helped you may not have helped you, okay? I can't answer this question because I don't know enough about the facts to give just a quick and dirty answer to you on this live show. We need to have a consultation. Edna, please reach out to me so I can analyze your situation and let you know whether you have a shot or whether you're not going to be able to do anything until immigration comes along and tries to put you in a detention, okay? So reach out to me, okay? Let's see here. Let me go down. Okay. So Instagram real quick before I move back over to the questions I prepared. Okay, so these are the questions. So on my YouTube channel, I had some people watch some videos and ask some questions. Okay, this was a video about a K-1 or fiancé visa, how to bring your fiancé to the U.S. Me and my boyfriend thought about the K-1 visa, but we felt like we needed more time together before deciding about marriage, so we tried a tourist visa. Very common approach, usually doesn't work. I didn't mention him at the interview and because you didn't want to lie, but I was denied anyway. We were so frustrated and we want so much to see each other as soon as possible that we decided to do K-1 visa. Okay. So, and I've done videos about this. If you guys aren't following me on YouTube, you really should, because I have over 500 videos on my YouTube channel that address a lot of these different questions. It might not answer everything, but it gives you a ton of information to move forward. Like this K-1 visa situation and the tourist visa. I absolutely 100% know that there's videos about that, okay? If you do a K-1 visa, or you don't want to do a K-1 visa, you want to try to jump to the tourist visa so that your significant other can come to the United States and see whether they like it here or whether they fit in here, whatever it is. Most tourist visas are denied. I would say, and this isn't based on the government's numbers, but I would say at least 80, 85, 90% of the applications for tourist visa are absolutely denied, okay? The good thing is, if you want to switch over to another type of process, like a fiancé visa, your denial with the tourist visa does not mean anything, does not impact your other visa requests. Check out my video, okay? Because I talk all about it and I explain why that is, okay? So let me go back over here. Okay, here's the question. It's about expediting. Farawa. Should we and how do we expedite the I-130 case? Party date is March of 2024. How long is the estimated waiting time for the entire process? Pakistan. Okay, so this is a little bit of smoke and mirrors from the last administration, that they say, oh yeah, you can expedite your case. It's not a thing, man. I'm telling you right now. Actually, the last time I tried to expedite something was for a client in Pakistan. Significant other U.S. citizen spouse was here in the United States and had a severe car accident, crippled her, and they still wouldn't expedite the request for her husband in Pakistan. Okay, so it is not really a thing. Okay, so I hate to tell you, you cannot expedite an I-130. You can't even expedite the National Visa Center and the embassy part of the process. I-130 takes as long as it takes. I don't know if you're a U.S. citizen, but the I-130 is not something you can ever expedite. Usually the only thing you can try to expedite is scheduling something for the interview. I-130 is just a review process. That's step one, right? Step three is the embassy. And like I said, they don't really even expedite that, okay? If you have more questions, you can click on the link that I posted above. I'll post it again, because I can provide you more information or guidance on how that can work and maybe think outside the box for you. But expediting things is not really a thing, okay? So I only have a couple minutes left, folks. So let me see if there's anything that I wanted to get to on some of the questions from before. Nothing currently being posted. So nobody here tonight still has pending questions from what I can see here, okay? We had a lot of really great questions tonight. And again, this half-hour session goes by very quickly. I'm going to put a question out there to you all who are listening and watching. I will ask you if you had any interest in me doing another live broadcast. Probably it's not going to be at night because it's a bit challenging to do it at night, but maybe during the daytime, maybe during lunchtime. Um, so drop me a shout out in the chat. Let me know if you think I should be doing another live session during the work week, so that I can get people who can't do things during the nighttime. I would love to be able to find out. So Farah, it's my pleasure. I would love to help you figure that out. But again, thinking about doing another live broadcast. We're out of time for tonight, which is why I kind of want to start doing another one. I've contemplated doing it in Spanish. My Spanish is pretty good, but my English is much, much better. But anyway, if you guys want that, let me know. If nobody has any interest, maybe I'll just do this one on Monday, and I'll see you next Monday at 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, which is Detroit time, for another live with Lee. Let me know if you guys have any interest in another one, and I would be happy to work that into my schedule. Okay, so thank you again for joining. Everyone have a wonderful night, and I'll see you next Monday.